r/AskReddit. Waiters of Reddit, what ducked up shit have you overheard while waiting tables? I was delivering food to a large table that looked like they were on a family reunion vacation when I overheard a grandpa asking one of the younger, 12 or 13, grandchildren if they had fun that day. The kid responded with, "Duck you grandpa, I can't wait until you die." I almost dropped all the plates in shock. What the duck? What was the aftermath of that? The grandpa just shook his head in disappointment. The parents didn't really care. In a Witherspoons, and there was a slight lull in the Friday night noise, and a buddy and I overheard a girl say, "Well, technically he isn't my brother, so I shagged him," to which her friend replied, "But you have the same dad." Well, it's all relative. Well, she's half right. I overheard a customer talking about someone coming and being so much fun. I assumed she was pregnant because she seemed to be showing a bit. I decided midway through the dinner to congratulate her on being pregnant. To my horror, she said, "I'm not pregnant." I felt horrible. I told my manager, who camped their meals, and I hid in the back for the rest of their dinner. Push comes to shove, she refused to let the manager camp her meal and left me a $20 tip with a note that said I was kidding, I'm due in July. That is ducking hilarious. What a good sport on her part. Had a guy confess to banging his significant other's sister when I brought their drinks to them. It was an anniversary. I guess he thought it would be the least likely place for her to cause a scene. She caused a scene. Aha, if I break this news to her in public, she can't get upset. Always baffles me why people think breaking up with your significant other in public is a good idea. They may be slightly less likely to cause a scene, but if they do, it's so much worse. My wife and I keep bees as a hobby. Pretty much the grossest thing you need to do as part of this is occasionally you need to scrape cells off a frame, particularly drone cells. Basically, you take a scraper and scrape the wax, but the larva/pupa plus JUICES etc. just squirt out everywhere. They're thick, white, and disgusting. I was holding the frame and my wife was scraping, and it sprayed all over her face and right into her mouth. She was describing the experience to me when the waitress walked over and definitely got a very different interpretation about thick white stuff right in my face and mouth. I was busting this table and I can hear these two guys speaking in Vietnamese to each other. One asks the other what they think about me. The guy responds and said, "I'm cute, but I have a flat chest." Also, in my defense, we had to wear these oversized unisex shirts that was not flattering. But anyways, I just keep doing what I'm doing and continue on. When they came to the register to pay, one asked me what nationality I was, and I smiled and said I'm Vietnamese. They looked shocked, then asked me if I spoke it, which I responded I did. Then he asked me in Vietnamese if I'm understanding him right now, and I responded back in Viet that yes I do. They didn't say anything else and left. We had a couple who would come in regularly and always ask to be seated in my co-workers section. They were probably in their 60s and were always really affectionate and cute with each other. My co-worker would joke around with them all the time. One day the man came in with a different woman than usual, and my co-worker jokingly told him, "Ooh, you're in trouble. I'm going to tell your wife you were here with another woman." Woman said, "Excuse me, I'm his wife. Who the duck has he been coming here with?" Dead awkward silence while she death glares at her extremely uncomfortable looking husband. My co-worker just turned around and walked away. Older couple at Bob Evans. I just wish I could die already. I know, dear. When I was a waiter, people often pretended that I wasn't there. The stories they told were crazy and personal. One woman at a table of 6 lunching ladies told the story of how her husband was recently prescribed Viagra. He took it like a vitamin, 1 pill every morning. He kept having erections at work and didn't understand why. I'd like to see what this man's secretary looks like. I used to be a manager at a Pizza Hut. Big extended redneck family comes in with parents and kids. Standard visit, and they stood up to leave when 2 of the guys started yelling at each other. Their wife/GFS got in on it and turned it up a notch by getting in a vicious slap fight. Best part? Both of the women were holding babies at the time. I work in a pretty big tourist beach town. An older couple comes in one night, super nice. They were there for a while, pretty much until close. I come by to ask if they need anything. Actually, my wife and I were talking, and since it's our last night here, we wanted to know if you would be interested in joining us back at our hotel room. I smiled, told them thanks but no thanks, but have a nice rest of your trip. They left me a hefty tip and went on their way. Never hurts to ask. A little girl's couldn't be older than 10. Dad's drunk girlfriend calling her fat piece of shitty, not pretty enough, etc. When they ordered, she asked for a baked potato and the girlfriend said, "Really? Do you really need that potato, Haley?" The little girl was holding back tears all night. I messed up her order and brought her the potato. Then I brought her a free dessert to make up for the mistake, just to piss off the drunk girlfriend. That's ducking awful, poor kid. Girlfriend sounds jealous of the daughter, in my opinion. The dad should have told his girlfriend to leave his kid alone. If the person you're dating says that sort of thing to your kid and you don't say anything and keep dating them, you're a terrible parent. Not a waiter, but was sitting next to a booth of people at a restaurant, having the most awkward exchange of words. Imagine two very Italian older guys with the most stereotypical South Philadelphian accent possible. Mario accidentally spills iced tea on table. Luigi, it's all over me. Mario, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I'm sorry, Luigi, but it's all over me. Mario, I said I'm sorry. It was an accident, Luigi. Waitress comes over to help. Luigi, napkins please. Butterfingers over here spilled this all over me. Mario, you're embarrassing me, Luigi. You're embarrassing me. Luigi, I'm embarrassing you? You wanna take this outside? They stand up. Mario, no, you're like a brother to me. Luigi, come here. They shake hands and hug. I literally could not help but to keep looking over, and my uncle was begging me to stop staring because he thought they were actually going to escalate into a fight. It was so weird, I'll never forget it. Over equals over. Tried emphasizing how hard the accents were. Late one night I had this couple who were maybe in their late 30s. The guy looked a little like a roidhead and had a lot of tattoos. Tough looking guy. From the moment they came in, the woman was crying the whole time. Not like a little bit crying, but straight up bawling. She hadn't talked to me the entire time, but the guy was very chatty. He explained to me how he had just found out that he only had a few months left to live and how she, his angel, was gonna take care of his boy for him and all this shitty. Anyway, I felt pretty genuinely bad cause that's a pretty ducked up thing to hear. Then I saw them coming again over a year and a half later, acting totally normal. They didn't remember me, but how do you forget the face of someone that told you they were dying? My theory is that he was abusive and was making up some cover story as to why she was crying that night. Either that or he miraculously survived without looking sickly at all, which in that case good on him. You didn't at least ask, hey, did you die? Ex-waiter. I'm walking down a long hallway carrying a tray of food. A kid comes running from an perpendicular hallway and runs face first into the wall without putting his hands up. He starts crying. The dad walks behind him very calmly and kneels down and says, "Buddy, you just can't go running into walls." I muffled my immediate laugh with my hand. It brought tears to my eyes. Sound advice there. Although the calmness of the situation maybe implies it's not the first time something like this has happened. A really douchy 15-year-old guy was sitting at a booth with two similarly aged girls. I think he was trying to show off to them. He was being extremely loud, obnoxious, shouting inappropriate stuff across the restaurant, and it was a fairly slow night so everyone could hear everything he was saying. He had a Justin Bieber haircut and was basically behaving like one of those spoiled, full of themselves little shfeds you see on YouTube. Well, sitting in the booth next to them was a young couple in their mid-20s. They were really nice and polite. I remember talking to them. The guy was in the military and was having a nice romantic dinner with his wife. I mentioned to the manager that the kid was being very inappropriate and causing disruptions, but he wouldn't do anything about it. So about 15 minutes after that little head and his two girlfriends sit down, the military dude gets up, leans down at the kid's table and tells him, I'm paraphrasing, "We are trying to celebrate our anniversary at the booth next to you. You need to quiet down and learn some manners or I'm gonna take you outside and beat the shit out of you." kid went so red in the face and didn't make a peep the rest of the night. I thanked the military guy for putting the kid in his place before they left. Hey, what is up guys, Daniel here. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. More content is coming. Stay tuned.